For those of you who don't know me, my name is Peter Langford. I'm the Director of Voice Projects. A little bit of background to who we are. Our core purpose is improving organisations by giving people a voice. And we've given a voice to over 1 million people across 3,000 organisations, so we're quite proud of the impact that we're having around the world. The primary reason why we're here this morning is because of the Change Challenge Awards that we started up 3 years ago. But we wanted an award that recognised improvements in performance, not just high performers. So in a sense, that's how we see the Change Challenge Awards being quite unique. It's designed to recognise and indeed learn from these changes and very impressive change journeys that organisations have gone through. So without further delay, I would like to invite Vijay Singh, who's the General Manager, and Bruce Knight, who's State Manager Operations for New South Wales Cemeteries and Crematoria, to come up, accept their awards and to deliver their story about the change journey at InvoCare. So thank you, gentlemen.
We would like to congratulate all the nominees and the winners. We are honoured to be here. It's a privilege, and it's been an exciting journey, hasn't it, Bruce?
Yeah, it's been an exciting journey over the last 18 months, but it's been a quick journey too.
A quick journey, that's right. So we are. You have to bear with us. We're amateurs. You know, we don't do this every day, you know. We don't publicly speak every day. We may fumble and you need to forgive us for it. Okay, so my name is Vijay Singh. I'm the General Manager of our New South Wales Cemeteries and Crematoria business. And this fine gentleman is Mr. Bruce Knight, who's our State Head of Operations and Administration. We are, for those of you who don't know us, we are part of a larger, wonderful organisation called InvoCare Australia. We are in the funeral, cemeteries and crematoria business. On the funeral side, you may know some of our brands, White Lady Funerals and Simplicity Funerals. And in terms of our memorial parks, it would be Pine Grove at Minchinbury, Northern Suburbs Crematorium up at the top of Delhi Road. Wonderful places. We hope not to see you there for a long, long time. Overall, we employ about 1,700 people. Look, we didn't do this ourselves. We did it through the support of our people and culture team, of our Chief Operating Officer. So I'll just mention a couple of names. Our managers who work for us and our people that dig the graves, that talk to our families. Families, when I say families, ladies and gentlemen, I mean our customers. We don't call our customers, we never have. We just call them our families. Okay, so before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge 3 people specifically in this room today. Those who have supported Bruce and I, our people and culture culture partner when we started the process, Ms. Joanne Place, now the GM of our funerals business. Joanne, you're wonderful. Our Chief Operating Officer, who was there from the start, you know, relentless support of us, who guided us in his own unique way when we needed course correction, right, Greg? And our culture, and our current culture, people and culture partner, Nicole Hart. Thank you very much. Without you, we could not have achieved what we have. So thank you very much. I think we're doing well. Yeah, I think so. So look, you know, we hope to part with 3 messages today, and it was really interesting listening to Michael. Michael, our messages, our businesses are different, right? Completely. I mean, our business is different to everything, but our messages are the same, right? We're going to talk more about the negative impact of a siloed business, you know, and the second point would be about making your business about your employees, and they will make it about your customers. And the rest will follow, and you'll see that. The third one is that leaders drive change, ladies and gentlemen, not managers. You know, we're trying to rid our organization of managers and or create them into leaders. Okay, so let's get started. So what were the problems that highlighted the need for change? So Bruce joined the organization, in his current role as the Regional Manager of Operations and Administration back in mid-2014. Yep. And I moved from the funeral business into the cemeteries and crematoria business in November 2014. So we inherited this business. So when we came into this business, these were observations. Culture. So we found that we had a culture that was inwardly focused. For years and years, we've built ourselves process, procedures, and policies, right? And we got to a point where those process, procedures, and policies were about us, but not about our customers. So it almost created an adversarial relationship with our customers. The second thing was people. We had management in place. I know Michael mentioned managers earlier on. We had management in place where it was an autocratic style of management. So when you have an autocratic style of management, in our experience, your employees are going to be disengaged, right? I mean, that is the end result of it. Thirdly, remuneration. Okay, so we have a fairly large sales force, for the business of our size, about 60 people, right? We had a remuneration structure that paid these guys a retainer, and then we asked them to perform, and if they didn't perform, they started owing us money. I mean, how does that engage? How does it encourage engagement, right? I mean, you should have seen our in-tune survey scores in 2013. Michael, I bet it was worse than yours. Okay, so we had, it's just systemic issues. Processes. So we also made it incredibly difficult for our people to do business with our customers, not just for customers to do business with us. Again, these were the process and procedures that we've built up over the years, right? And this is the big one, ladies and gentlemen. This is the big one. The dysfunctional relationship between the front office and the back office. Does this sound familiar to anyone? Right? Sales and operations, the perennial push and pull, right? We go through. I mean, Bruce and I are two very different people, right? You probably have guessed, right? He's the quiet, silent one, right? He's a man of action. And I'm the big, loudmouth sales guy, right? That goes out there promising stuff, and Bruce's team has to deliver it, right? But this is not unique to our business. This is similar to any other business, right? So there was the dysfunction there. The thing when Bruce and I started working together back in 2014, right, we found ourselves in conflict, right, as managers before us did, because there were silos, right? People who reported to us used that, right? I mean, that, it served their purpose, right? So we made a commitment to each other. We chose not to allow a wedge between us, meaning front office and back office, right? Yeah. So if you think of silos, what do we think of, right? We think of I think of a brick wall, right? Or something that's where you keep wheat, right? A big silo. So but silos is a mindset. We discovered it's a mindset, right? And because it's a mindset, you can take it down as a leader, right? Can't you? It's not a structural thing, right? It's a mindset. And that's what we chose to do. Leaders choose to make a decision, right? Yeah. We chose to do that, and we stuck to that. Was it easy? Absolutely not. It was really difficult because the forces that pulled us in separate directions, right? Front office, back office, but the end goal was the same: to provide our families the absolute best service we can provide them. So there was a disconnect for many, many years, and that affected our business. So what was the consequence, right? Sorry, before we go to that, if you see that, we're in serious trouble, right? It was broken. So what were the consequences? Well, our business didn't achieve its target budgets, financial budgets, since 2010. No surprises there. Park development behind schedule. So let me just put park development in perspective. Park development is really product development, right? Our business is not such that we can buy products and then resell it, right? We need to create memorials, yeah. Right? We need to buy components of it, then build, and these things take time. And and culture, and no one was watching, and we ran out of products to sell, right? So these were some of the consequences when you have disconnect between the front office and the back office. 50% turnover of a new sales staff in the first 12 months. Is it any wonder why we weren't making budget? Is it any wonder, right? Considering the REM structure we spoke about, 50% of people who join our business and they leave within the first 12 months. Yeah. They start owing us money. We're in trouble. Customer complaints. Considering the nature of work we do, right? We deal with families on the worst day of their lives, just about. And we had complaints. How does that make sense? How is that okay? But we had that. 20% overall staff turnover. Some organizations will look at that and say, you know what, that's not so bad. In our case, it is pretty bad. Again, due to the nature of work we do, right, we need continuity of experience and familiarity with our families, and we were losing that. And senior management. So for a time there, the senior management, out of necessity, were either removed from the business or placed in other parts of the business. So culture is what happens when nobody's watching, right? And so basically our culture went to hell in a handbasket. And to top this all off with a nice little red ribbon, ladies and gentlemen, we had consumer law issues as well. So again, we were in fairly big trouble. Excuse me, I'm getting thirsty just talking about all this. Okay. Right. So what were some of the major obstacles, right? So we started on a journey, right? We said, we committed, as leaders of the business, we said that we will bring these silos down come what may, right? What were some of the obstacles and challenges? The mindset of change will never happen, right? Our people would not believe us. When we'd say to them, look, we want to make this the best place for you to come to work every day, and they would not believe us, right? How do you deal with that, right? You deal with that one, what Michael said, right? Through engagement, through real engagement. We had distrust of management, obviously. We had an autocratic style of management before that for years and years and years. So when we came into the picture, our own employees didn't trust us. They liked what they did. Their why was very strong because they serviced families, as I said, on the worst day of their lives. So they loved their jobs, right? But they just didn't like us or trust us, yeah? That's a pretty serious problem, I reckon. No accountability for bad behavior. I think, Michael, again, you touched on accountability. There wasn't any accountability for bad behavior in our business initially, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. We certainly changed that. Yeah. Fear of speaking out. I can't tell you, right, how many times we've walked up to our employees or managers in meetings and said, please tell us what you think, and they simply wouldn't. Right? Fear of speaking out. And fear of making decisions. Again, on the old favorite, complete disconnect between sales and operations. So these were some of the major obstacles and challenges. Does this resonate with you guys? Yeah? Okay, so what did we do? So we were, back in November 2014, we were faced with all these challenges, right? And there are all these levers we could pull. But the question is, what lever do we actually pull that'll impact our business almost immediately? I remember the amazing Joe Place, our people and culture partner, then said to us in our own unique way, boys, you guys are struggling. You guys are absolutely struggling. You're focusing on way too many things, right? Pick out the two things that you're gonna focus on, and change. So I remember that day when we were in that meeting room up in Northern, and we had two pieces of paper. Bruce had one, I had one, and Bruce wrote customer service and I wrote people, right? And that was a defining moment for us. We needed two things to focus on, right? To provide the absolute best customer service to our families and to make our business the best place to come to work every day. And so that's how we started our business. So I think, Michael, you mentioned wildly important goals, that was ours. So there are some synergies there. So we focused on those two things. Now, how did we actually do that, right? This may come as a surprise or may not. As I said, we don't have MBAs in change management, right? We did this instinctively because it felt like the right thing to do at the time. Number one, we initiate open and honest conversations with our employees. So if we said we'd do something, we would do it. Yeah. And if we couldn't do something that was completely out of our circle of control, we told them the truth, and we said why, right?
Doesn't matter how bad it was, we did it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how difficult it was to pass that message on, we did it. So it was the start of a journey. We reached out to staff, listened, and really listened. And this is something, again, Michael touched on earlier, about not jumping into action mode too quickly. It's listening and it's really understanding, right? As we all know, my wife tells me there's listening and then there's listening, right? It's more the latter. It's really listening. So ensured high visibility and accessibility to us, right? So we have offices up at Northern Suburbs Crematorium, and I think there were 3 or 4 months we were in there at all. Can't remember going into our offices, but because we worked in the 8 businesses that we run in the state of New South Wales, we were there day in and day out. Bruce put a overall on, and I went out there and drove and dug graves and spent time with the guys in the parks, and I drove a buggy on a Sunday and sat in those arrangement rooms that our families come to collect the ashes of their loved ones, experienced the emotions of the rooms, and understood the pulse of the business, right? And this gave, sent out a very powerful messages that these guys are serious. They do want to drive change through our business. Again, reinitiated quarterly meetings between sales and operations. We don't call that. We just call it the New South Wales SAMCREM Management Meeting. We hold it once a month, and we can't. We basically run out of time every time we run it.
Yeah. Prior to that, we probably hadn't had a meeting between both parties for over 18 months.
Yeah, that's right. We changed that RAM structure that I was talking about earlier on. So we did something really different and unique. We gave them a base salary, and we incentivized them on performance. And guess what? Magic happened. So we attended their meetings. If they held meetings in their respective locations, we attended those. We make sure we're there all the time, every time, completely visible. Made it easier. Well, we're making it easier for our customers to do business with us. Sorry, I've been told we're running out of time here. We empowered our managers to make decisions, right? Because I think 6-8 months ago, we found ourselves really busy making decisions. And we're thinking, why are we doing this? So we passed the responsibilities over to our managers. Now you make the decisions. If you make a mistake, that's perfectly okay. Just make the decisions. And we embraced the IVC CARE program. Now, CARE simply means collaboration, accountability, responsiveness, and excellence, right? So these are values. I mean, think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Considering the work we do, we had no values. Well, we have values, but not stated values, right? Do not underestimate the power of stated values, ladies and gentlemen, because we live by that. We manage to do that. We hold people accountable to that. We start all our meetings with a care moment. When we first brought this, we could see the eyes roll, right? But now it's become part of our psychology. This is who we are. Okay. So as you can see, that's these are the stuff we have done, right? Guess what, guys? There's no capital investment required to do those. It's about showing leadership, right? It's simple stuff. And so what did the change go according to plan? Yes and no, but mostly yes. Right, so why was it successful? It's successful for all the topics that I've covered. We held our staff accountable. We managed. We were highly visible within the business. We stayed on message. We were determined not to allow wedges between us. We changed our REM structure, and it was really interesting, right? We made a point that if we're in a business, right, and if Bruce is in a business and I'm not there, he's the head of operations and the head of sales as well. That gave a clear message that there's absolutely no divide between the two teams, right? So what was the outcome? Our engagement. We had increased engagement, increased teamwork. Sorry, I'm rushing. I've been told that to wrap it up. Increased cross-collaboration, increased trust in management, increased staff retention. And this is probably the most powerful one, that our employees started to see a future for themselves in our business. It's incredible. For employees that didn't trust us, this was the result. Now, let me articulate that further. So what was our financial impact, right? What was the financial imperative? We're a listed company, and that's and that matters. We had a 10% growth in our revenue from 2014 to 2015, a staggering 10% growth, right? And all we did was we engaged our people into the business. We exceeded our budget 15 days before year end, right, Greg? We're very happy with that. We have record low numbers of HR issues, and we improved dramatic improvement in Intune surveys. So what does those dramatic improvements look like, ladies and gentlemen? Let me just be clear. They're not our scores, okay? That's just the movement. So we had a 47% increase in our staff feeling informed. Staff feeling supported, 42% jump, right? 40% of our employees tell us that we actually learn from our mistakes. How wonderful and humbling is that? 38% jump in knowledge that is shared, and 40% jump in confidence in our senior managers. And that. Sorry, I've got 0 time left now. Record low number of complaints, and when we do have complaints, we tend to resolve them in record times. That's still work in progress. Sales and operations relationship, right, Bruce?
That's right.
Yeah, okay. So do we believe that this initiative could be applied to your organizations? What do you believe? Do you believe this is applicable? It's simple stuff, right? Yes, absolutely. Now, our final thoughts. You're rushing me. Okay. Our experience shows that culture change does not need to be a slow process, right? We did this in about, 15 to 18 months flat. Yeah. We did this because we narrowed our focus down to two things, about people and our customers. And we engaged our people, and everything else became easier. Also, pulling down the silos and increasing employee engagement through strong, honest, transparent, and dynamic leadership without ego. And let me tell you that without ego is the key word there, is key to sustained positive culture change resulting in excellent financial performance of the business. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute privilege to be here today. Thank you.
What's happened to you?
Huh?
What's happened to you?
No.